Alright, so what is up, guys? It's Iron here. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to increase your aim and win more gunfights in Call of Duty. So first things first is you're going to want to lower your sensitivity. I know everyone says it, but you optimally want to be on a like 5.5 or 4.5. It's like the horizontal and vertical sensitivity. The reason is because when you're on a high sensitivity, like you don't even like use your turn rate most of the time. Like you barely ever like. I'm moving my sticks like full right here, like left and right. And if I was on like a 10 or something, I'd like turn 180 degrees right there. So you're really only like you're barely using your full range of motion. You're only moving your stick like a little bit each time, just making lots of like minor adjustments and stuff. And really, it's better to just be on a lower sensitivity, so you have like that better control most of the time. You're using like the full range of motion of the stick because controller analogs are already like inaccurate as it is. So it basically gives you just a more precise shot, and you're more consistent, and it's just easier to it's basically possible to master it. And just trust me, if you try it, it might be hard getting used to it at first, because if you're not like playing a real sensitivity, you could probably like aim in a lot and just like if some guy were let me see, if I was like in here and somebody ran up these steps, I could just follow him ADS and just melt the dude. But when you're on a lower sensitivity, you got to be more conscious of when to not be aimed in and when to aim in. So if I was going around here, I have to like unaim and then recenter on him, and snap it back onto him, because you just can't. You're just not able to track them fast enough on lower sensitivity. But I mean, really, it still kill people basically just as quick. And the majority of gunfights, and once you get your centering down, you're not even have to like really worry about like following people close range ADS. Alright. So the next thing is centering. This is probably the biggest thing to take away from this. Is like centering is basically the best way I can think of it is basically having your crosshairs positioned in like a way that if someone was to come out, you want it to optimally be that all you'd have to do is just take your triggers and you'll already be hitting them. That's the best way I can think of to describe it. Like you see when I'm running into these guys, I'm not like moving my aim all over the place. Like I'm pretty much aimed where they're gonna be, and when they pop out, I just gotta hit the triggers and they go down. Like if I'm thinking somebody's gonna come in the doorway, I'm not gonna be like walking right here, unless I'm gonna like peek the guy out there. But like, because then I have to just aim it straight at it, and then the dude comes, just hit your triggers, and he's done. This is pretty much the thing like every single FPS game with centering. Once you start like trying it, you'll understand it better. Like crosshair placement. Crosshair placement is really most of, basically, the biggest like skill I can think of for gunfights. Now, just once you get the higher levels, you got people like flying around doing jump shots. Then you need like tracking and being able to snap onto targets and stuff. But really, positioning is like first and foremost like the fundamental thing. Like where you're placing your crosshair. Alright, so you get this list up. My next thing, I say, along with crosshair placement, is like pre-aiming. Like you can also do this. Also works. Really, he's got hives. Okay. Alright, so this also works like ADS, pre-ADSing stuff. Like if I think somebody's gonna be up on like top, like that barn ledge right there, like I'm not just gonna like walk out and aim in. Like you want to like try and guess like where people are gonna be through walls, and like that's basically the best thing I'm going to say. Like trying to predict, like trying to like aim at people through the walls. So, like when you step out, you're like on them. Unless they're a bot like that, they're probably not going to hit you. And you're going to get the jump on them, and you're just going to melt them like 9 times out of 10 if you do it right. Neutralized. So you something's got to be there. You want to just peek out. So when like aim through the walls, so when you pop out, you're already there, and you just got to start shooting. You want to be careful with like pre-aiming though, because like I said before, sometimes if you're too close, you're not going to be able to track them fast. You're going to have to like unaim and then re-aim. But yeah, that's really the only thing with that. Alright. So next thing Some drills to like help your shot get better. There's basically two things with aim, and that's like your centering and tracking. Centering, I mean not centering. Snapping is like how you basically how well you snap onto like targets and like switch between things. Best way to do that is like what I'm doing right now, and just run around against bots and just basically try and just test yourself to react as quickly as you can and drop guys as fast as possible. And then to help your tracking is like how you can follow targets that you're shooting at. So like there's like a guy like far away. This is not a good example of the barn, like 10 feet away, but let's say some guy like spawns out like over here, and being able to like track them and like hit them with all your shots is like running across. Like that's what tracking is, being able to stay on target as you're shooting somebody, like mid gunfight. So yeah, the best way to do that is to put on like bots and give them like extra health, like 200% health or whatever, and just basically the same thing but with that, and it'll force you to keep your aim on target longer. It'll help a lot. Also, preferably if you use like a weapon like the VMP or something, that's going to require like more shots to kill. It'll help you. Those are the only two things I can really think of. If you want to like play like matches and stuff and not do bots, I'd pretty much say hardpoint's the best because you just get into so many engagements in hardpoint or like domination, and you're getting into all those gunfights. You know, you're just going to improve. And so now just for some more like FPS basics and stuff, like a big thing is also positioning. You always want to be conscious of like your positioning on the map. Like the best way I can think of to describe this is like you want to like keep yourself like open to as few of line, like be able to like be seen from as few of lines of sight as possible, and have like the biggest advantage over people watching the way that like coming through the way that you're watching. So like let's say alright, if I get over here, if I'm over here like this. You know, you want to use the cover on the map to your advantage. Like, see, like you don't want to be like keep throwing yourself on the open, like kind of unless like peeking or something. I mean, it doesn't really. It's hard to give a good example here because like there's 12 bots running around the map. They're just gonna spawn behind me eventually. It's bot free for on Fringe. What are you gonna do? But you ultimately want to position yourself like this is like I guess the silos are pretty good because like you've got cover, you can rotate around it, and you can just peek out here and see if people are there. I guess you're kind of half covered by this, I guess. But it keeps you open. Like, you can't be seen from people, like, on your back or side, basically whatever's just in front of you. And the people that are coming at, they'll be coming at you here, they'd have to be exposed too. So, like, you guys just want to be conscious of, like, your positioning on the map. Make sure that you're using cover properly, not, like, exposing yourself. Know how to peek. Like, peeking around corner stuff is, like, if I want to check this guy at head glitch, just walk out like that. And you know, you can also try to like bait the person to shoot there. Like if some guy's in that head glitch, then obviously I'm not going to go out this window unless I already have like a great shot. But, you know, you try and pre in there. I mean, that's not really good power position you want to challenge. But oh Jesus, yeah. So like what you want to do when you're moving around is just I'm going to try and get it over here and give an example. You know, just like clearing through an area. So, hold on, I want this shotgun bot to come and kill me through here. Alright. So, it's like, if you want to like come through here and you like peek out, there's nobody over on that head glitch. You peek out this door, like move up to this cover, and you can watch this area, see if anybody comes out or anything. People come through there. I don't think anybody ever expects anybody to be in this corner. And then move up to this truck, you know. Watch this, these head glitches, and then just move up to the next glitch. Basically moving from head glitch to head glitch, basically, cover to cover. You know, like you're playing like Splinter Cell or something, if you ever played that, like Hitman, you know, you move from stuff that like blocks you from the enemy's sight. Just think of it kind of like that. You want to be exposed as little as possible, and make sure like you're watching. It gives people like the least advantage over the lanes you're watching. Just use head glitches and everything to your advantage. Because if you're doing all this stuff, I guarantee you're going to win most of your engagements. Unless you have awful aim, in which case you just do those drills and you'll eventually get better. You'll get better at just like right stick movement just by playing. I find that most people don't really even have, like, people have been playing a lot. Like, their problem's not that like they can't aim, their problem's just like they don't know how to aim. Like, they don't do this stuff, they're not conscious like their positioning and stuff. They can like track people and snap onto people fine, but they just expose themselves in bad ways, or they play on too high of a sensitivity, or they don't have their like centering down, and that's why they lose like gunfights and stuff. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything. You know, lines of, you know the lines of sight and stuff, like, watching the lanes of the map, using, you know, like positions that allow you to watch as much area as possible being covered. And, yeah. Once you get more advanced, you can move in, you know, like doing jump shots and stuff, and wall running. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just going over the basics.
There's no substitute for the thrill of the.
All right, so I think I just covered everything. So, you know, lower sensitivity, know an ADS hip fire, get down your centering and pre-aiming, make sure you're conscious of like cover and positioning. Yeah, I think that's all. So I hope this helps you guys become a better player. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Good luck. Peace out.